Imagine that your son or your daughter has been the victim of a violent crime. This is a tragic yet common scenario. The reality is that children are sometimes the only victims or witnesses to a criminal event, and the information that police officers obtain from them will ultimately determine the outcome of their investigation. For a long time, legal practitioners have thought that children are incapable of providing accurate eyewitness testimony because they have weak memories, they are highly suggestible, and they have a small vocabulary that prevents them from expressing themselves. But, in fact, very young children can recall details from traumatic events quite accurately. One key factor that affects a child's recall ability is how they are interviewed by the police. Ideally, to obtain the best information possible, police officers should use practices that allow the child to provide a great deal of information while minimizing any chance of suggestibility. So for my research, I collected a sample of police interviews conducted with child victims and witnesses. I analyzed these interviews for a number of behaviors, such as the types of questions asked and the amount of talking time done by both the child and the police officer. Unfortunately, my results show that police officers are not following best practices when interviewing children. Specifically, police officers use many improper question types, such as leading questions, which may ultimately taint the child's memory. Police officers also spoke too much during the interview, which limits the amount of information and details that the child can provide. The ability to interview children is an extremely complex yet very important skill. As a vulnerable group, it is especially important that greater care is used when interviewing children. As it stands right now, current interviewing practices are in need of reform. But the good news is that my research findings are changing the way that police officers are interviewing children. Recently, I was involved in a training course that taught police officers on the best practices to use when interviewing children. And I'm going to continue this research throughout my PhD, and my goal is to advance these interviewing practices all across the country. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Memorial University and my supervisor, Brent Snook, for supporting people-focused research. Research on the edge. Thank you.